Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and today we're going to be going into Brayflox's Longstop. And Brayflox's Longstop is what's known as a noob killer of a dungeon. And I had a group where every single person, including myself, was new. I'll leave it up to your imagination how well this run goes until we're actually in the run. And truth be told, it was really just the final boss that was the problem, because the final boss is all on the tank. Well, not all on the tank, it's a majority of on the tank. And if the tank doesn't do their job, oh dear, because you're gonna wipe, most likely. Now, the thing that separates Brayflox's Longstop from the dungeons prior is this is the first dungeon that just hits hard. And I mean, it hits hard. If the tank doesn't do his job well, you're gonna die. If the DPS hasn't learned their place yet, they're gonna die very quickly. And healers, you gotta be on top of your game, because your tank's gonna get hit hard here. Never mind the fact that our tank, I think, got insta-jibbed a couple times, and I ended up off-tanking. That was fun. Those moments are funny, but it's one of those, oh crap, we're wiping. But not all the time. Not all the time. I know, like, Bach, why aren't you watching the cutscene? I don't want to watch the cutscene. I'll watch the cutscenes in the inn. Except later, where some cutscenes you can't watch in the inn, and then I'll make a Party Finder story group. That's my plan. But for right now, I don't mind skipping. But Brayflox's has, I think, 4 bosses? 4, I think, I want to say. But the really hardest one, like I said, is the final boss. The first boss wasn't really that bad. The second boss, we really just kind of whoopsied the tactics. I think I was like the only one that was trying to do the commonly accepted tactic, and well, let's just say this is going to be an entertaining video, folks, so don't be off-put, because we're all talking here and trying to, you know, everybody's letting everybody know, yeah, I'm new, and everybody's like, oh boy, well, this is going to be an interesting one. So, yes, stuff here hits very hard. Watch the tank's health for a majority of this dungeon, and you will see just how hard stuff hits here. I don't know if this guy's wearing low-level gear. I don't know if he's wearing decent gear. I didn't inspect him, because I would imagine that's rude, but I don't know that. But the point here is, yeah, healers, you might not be able to DPS here. This is the first dungeon where you just might go, yeah, I think I'll just heal. Because if you go DPS, and your tank gets hit by a, you know, an auto attack and an ability, their health's just gonna drop. Just hard. And I had my fair share here. The tank, I think, died more than anyone here just because he got hit so hard here. And this is, like, the first experience of a dungeon is that magical experience that you will remember for the rest of your days playing the game. For the rest of my days playing this game, I'm going to dread getting this dungeon. But I know with a you know, an experienced group, this probably would not have been near as bad. I got spoiled off that Hawk Manor run, man. Got spoiled. But at least stuff here you can actually, you know, put dots up and not feel like you're wasting your global cooldowns, because stuff here has quite a bit of health. I mean, obviously the Dark Knight isn't really new, but he did say at the beginning this was his first time tanking as a Dark Knight. And I gotta tell you, I don't want to tell you how to play the game, but if I just unlocked a new job, my first place going would not be Brayflox's Longstop. Like, I would be that Joe Boring going into Sastasha just until I can learn the basics of the class, but some people just dive head on in. They just dive head first in, and you just gotta deal with it, man. Oh, I think we're all sitting here talking like, are we multi-dotting? I believe the Dark Knight said something along the lines of no. So, you know, if a tank does not feel comfortable that he can hold aggro off people multi-dotting, just don't do it. And you'll see exactly why later, because one of our DPS kind of just took the prerogative and just did it anyway, and oh boy. I mean, you gotta be flexible in Duty Finder. You're gonna run into people that are just not comfortable with the way you do things. They're only comfortable with the way they do things. I don't know what he's doing up there. There's nowhere else to go up there, but let's just say in Duty Finder, Okay, this is gonna... Story time with Barok. In World of Warcraft, I played vanilla in Burning Crusade. Back in my day, we didn't have looking for group tools. We didn't have Duty Finder. You know what we did to get a group? People whispered you saying, would you like to go run whatever? A vast majority of the time, they weren't the best players on the server, and you gotta deal with it, but you learned a lot about your class and what you should be doing. That's the way I look at runs like this. It's like a learning party, because we're all learning how to, best get through the dungeon. And in any kind of learning party in MMOs, you gotta expect that you're just not gonna, go through it flawlessly. You're gonna have mistakes. So I guess it's important to temper your expectations. I sound like a doctor, don't I? Well, the point here is, in Duty Finder, you get what you get. I mean, that's as simple as it is. You get what you get, and you just gotta deal with it. But I think we're almost at the first boss, because the first boss, I remember we only had to pull like 3 trash groups? Maybe 2 or 3, I don't remember. The first boss was really just kill the ads and then kill the boss. This is not new or exciting, but the boss hits hard. He doesn't hit as hard as the final boss, but he hits pretty hard. Yeah, that's right, we are right by the boss. So, let's get ready for the Great Yellow... I didn't quite get to read that, though. Great Yellow... Barrock, stop moving the camera! I can't read that fast. The Great Yellow I can't read because I put it right at the top of the screen. Darn it, past Barrock, why did you do this? Make me look bad. Oh right, this was an AFK sequence, the Great Yellow Pelican, because our scholar did not know where Protect was, and we got to talk that out, so yeah, let's not sit here and watch us chat. Okay, so now that the scholars found Protect and we're just about ready to get rocking, because, well, let's go. Like I said, this is not a difficult fight. We've been through this scenario many times. Just kill the ads and just go to town, man. You got 4 targets here, so AoE the crap out of it. Of course, sometimes if your tank's not really doing AoE aggro, if you AoE like that, you're gonna pull some aggro. But on ads, normally that doesn't matter all that much because they don't hit all that hard. Plus, I do have second wind if crap really goes down. But you don't want to really rely on second wind. As nice as it is with trait, it's not, gonna save your butt from tanking bosses. Trust me, I found that out pretty much firsthand in this run. It don't work as well as you want it to. Because I don't want to spoil anything about what's going to happen. Even though I just did, kind of. But I think there are more ads in this fight, and I don't remember if we actually dealt with them or if we just kind of brute forced it. I'm pretty sure I didn't brute force it. One of the few times I don't, but there's the ads. I'm like, is the tank gonna pick this up? Are we? I guess we're just gonna ignore the ads? I don't know. Oh, they're on the tank anyway, and they're on the squishies. Oh crap! Guess I got to get it off of them because I mean, I don't know what tanks are. I think a lot of tanks just get tunnel visioned and they just don't think about picking up the ads. That's not a good habit. It's either that or they just don't care, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that they actually care about the group. That's a dangerous assumption to make in an MMO, but I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt that they're not doing it on purpose to take people off. Eventually you will run into the type that will just do stuff like that to take you off, but it's usually fairly rare that you'll get to that point. Yeah, the first boss is basically down at this point, and actually we took one of the worst paths through this entire dungeon. That's a bit later though, but this is good. This is a noob run, folks. This is gonna be, like I said, a very entertaining run, so if you're looking for like the Hawk Manor 20 minutes of yesteryear, it ain't happening. The one boss that had a really entertaining mechanic was the second boss. No, the second and third. I love the third boss. The third boss reminds me of something like, oh crap. We'll get into that a little later, I guess, but I love that third boss. Well, you'll see exactly why. But there was a big surprise in that fight, and everybody just kind of panicked, and you could tell everybody was like, oh god, what do we do? Except for like the Death Knight, or the Dark Knight. I know somebody eventually is going to say, Barrock, did you play a Death Knight? No, I quit before Wrath of the Lich King, because well, there's reasons, but I never played Death Knight. I just always think, Dark Knight, Death Knight, they're both kind of evil and sad, and Close enough. Cue the Dark Knights in here, going, nuh-uh, it's not the same. I personally don't give a crap what it's called. The point, you know what I'm trying to make here. Anyway, a lot of these mobs you don't have to pull. As you might have noticed with the Goblin earlier, if you save the Goblin, and they will kill the Goblin if you don't get there fast enough, if you save the Goblin, you get a chest, a treasure chest. Now, you don't have to do it. You can skip most of them. I think the only one you can't skip was the one back there that we already killed. But some of them do have decent loot in the chests. Like, I believe this is from a year-old Mr. Happy video, but over toward where I'm facing now, to the left, yeah, down, there's a little path going down. There's a treasure chest down there that I believe he said there was gear. We didn't go down that way, I don't think. But here you want to stay to the right, so you don't aggro and start the other thing. So make sure you don't do that if you're new to the party. Stick to the right here, like near where I'm at. That was a mistake positioning there. I could have stayed on mobs, but I chose not to for some reason. As you can see, our Dark Knight is just getting hammered. And I realize, oh crap, I have aggro. When you notice that I have aggro, watch my health evaporate. It doesn't help when the Dark Knight, when nobody's like focusing DPS, because we don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know what to hit. Nobody knows what to hit. I'm hitting the one that the Dark Knight's hitting, or at least I'm trying to. Our Dark Knight doesn't look to be hitting anything. Maybe that's a secret strategy I'm not aware of. I doubt it, but it could be. There we go, he's doing stuff again. See, he's on the up and up. He knows what's up. I'm sorry, I can... You know, if you see somebody just standing there, you gotta point it out. But I think he was having targeting issues like I did, and I was having a little bit of frame issues just because of all the stuff here, the waterfalls, all the grass. But yeah, this is not mandatory going back here. This is all optional. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this existed. But I don't remember what you get here. Obviously a treasure chest, but I don't remember what this one had. Now, you're gonna get used to as a healer, hopefully you're gonna get used to the tank taking a crap ton of damage. Just know that if you're a DPS, basically, above all else, if you're a DPS, just make sure you don't get aggro. That's like your whole job here. If you get aggro, you're gonna die. Unless your healer is very good at keeping you alive. Because, I don't know if you realize this, if you've never played the game before, monks have actually, I think they might be one of the lightest armors in the game. Well, I don't know about that. There's cloth, there's the robes, and then the next step up would be like the monk, and then after that's the dragoon, and then after that's tanks. So we're like bottom middle of the totem pole. You can't tank this. Let's just put that out there. As a monk, you cannot tank anything above like, I don't know, like, oh crap, 1,000 miles of Totorock, maybe? And even then, you really shouldn't be trying to do it. It's just one of those, you know, you really, really don't want aggro here, unless you're the tank. This dungeon will hammer that into your skull, because if you don't, you're going to be tanking the floor most of the time. Now, there's another goblin up on the right hill here, which we're actually going to go do. Like I said, you don't have to do these. You can just let the goblin die. You don't have to go and save his butt. The extra loot's nice, especially since we're all new and all leveling, so that's, I think, the reason why we decided to go out of our way to do this. A lot of groups won't do this. A lot of groups will just skip all this and just go to the second boss, because we can go to the second boss like right now if we wanted to. But, you know, why not get some extra loot while we're leveling anyway? Jeez, some crow. This is chaotic. I have the aggro on one, almost two of them. Our tank's dead. I'm off-tanking this whole thing. And watch my health ping-pong back and forth, back and forth. Now, contrary to popular belief, monks do not give very many aggro skills. And here I am desperately trying to get this off of our... Who's that hitting? The summoner. That's what that's... yeah, I think that's a summoner. Oh, almost got aggro on him. Almost. Let's see if Bar can actually tank something on a monk. Well, he's got one. Let's see if he can tank the other. I was making a conscious effort to try and tank these. Whether that's right or not, probably not. Because, I mean, I gotta figure I'm at least a little more sturdy than these, robe wearers here. I'm wearing leather, for goodness sake. That's gotta be more sturdy than cloth. It ain't much sturdier, folks. It is not much sturdier. Yay, monk off tank to save the day. Aw, yeah. That's not the way you should ever do that. That's just the best of a bad situation. I think the scholar was the one that said, holy crap, you just insta-died. I didn't watch his health there. Did he insta-die? He died pretty fast. I didn't even know what happened and he's dead. Mind you, the monk off-tanking is bad enough. Right? That's bad enough. But a level 32, or I was 32, a level 33 monk that is in leveling gear that's like level 30, that's not good. You have like no mitigation. But yes, now we're at the second boss. The second boss has a mechanic that we just pretty much ignored. Well, they pretty much ignored it. What you're supposed to do in this fight, from what I can gather, is at a certain point in the fight, I don't remember if it was 75% or 50% what it was, an ad will spawn. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically another one of these things. I don't know how in the heck I got aggro from an auto attack, but it happened. Or I guess that was not. I guess that was not an auto attack. But what happens is an ad spawns, and what you're supposed to do is focus it down. We did not focus this ad down. We thought that would take too long or something. I don't know. The point here is, we ate a lot more damage than we really had to. The Tempest Beast. A lot of people just apparently do not care about this thing, but if you just ignore it, then you have two sources of damage outgoing, and our healer, God bless her, managed to keep us all alive. We should not have been alive, but we managed to do it. And also, fun fact for everybody out there, if you have a sleep spell, you can sleep the boss. So a good thing to do is you sleep the boss, and everybody focuses down the beast, or blast, or whatever that says. I was trying to just take this to the tank and just like, dude, pick up the ad, dude. He's not picking up the ad. Oh, screw it. I'll just tank it. Notice everybody else's DPS is on the Drake. I mean, apparently this thing doesn't hit all that hard. Okay, it does hit pretty hard. Look at my health go. I was gonna say, apparently this thing doesn't hit very hard, so you can off-tank it, but my health, she says otherwise. So, why we weren't focusing... Okay, now we focused it down. And after this point, there is another mechanic. If you notice Brayflox over there, the goblin, they pick a person to stand by, and what you want to do if you're hit by that, or if she's standing by you, and it is a she, if she's standing by you, you want to make sure you're not by your party members, because there's a big AoE coming out and it hits pretty hard. So make sure you're not going to hit anybody else with your debuff. So, I mean, just basic little, awareness checks like that you gotta stay in mind. You gotta keep in mind. And this fight's pretty easy once you got those mechanics down. Don't hit everybody else with that AoE. Kill the ad when it spawns. And there you go, free loot. It's not as hard as it probably looked, but it done. And in the end, isn't that what really matters? The boss is dead. Oh, sure, it wasn't the most efficient boss fight ever, but it's dead, and that's all that matters. I forget what we even got there, but, yeah. Anyway, on to the next thing. Now, we went the most terrible path that you could ever go here, as far as I could gather on a first run, newbie's eyes. Now, the way I would have went is hug the left wall by the pugil over there. And I'm like, okay, are we seriously just going to go across the land? I would not recommend this, because as you can see back there on the right, there's a lot of crap back there that if you're not careful, you will aggro onto the land. That's why I personally would be in the space behind me, but I'm not main tank, so I don't get the privilege of telling the tank which way to go, and that's something I just get to deal with because I'm DPS. But our tank was a very original a very old school person. He is going to go on that path come hell or high water. He don't care, man. But to be fair, if you can get past the pull after this one, this way is not terrible. It's just the pull after this that is bad. It is just bad. Because I think it's like 5 enemies, and 5 enemies is is no bueno. You don't want 5 enemies here. At least not when you're in like leveling gear and nobody's level capped. Which, looking at it, we have what? Do we have anybody that's level capped? I can't read from here because it's on preview, but yeah, you get what I'm saying here. That's not good. But I mean, if you can pull a miracle out your butt, go right ahead. But just don't expect this path to work a majority of the time. And if you do, if your tank insists on going down this path, excuse me, make it your life's mission to kill at least 1 enemy in that pack, so it makes it easier for the next time. Because you're going to die more than likely, unless your group is just awesome, and your tank is awesome, and your healer's awesome. But a lot of times they're not going to be. Let's just temper our expectations right now. Okay, so this next pull is the one where I just go, oh god. I even said out loud, oh sheesh. Because I realized, that's 5 things. Because we got the Pugil as well. And I knew we were going to die. At this point, I knew we're going to die because our tank just dies at the drop of a hat when there's like more than 3 things. But to our healer's credit, he's staying up alive. He's just dangerously low. I mean, he's in critical right now. But by God, he's dead. He's dead, Jim. It ain't gonna work. So at this point, it's just one of those every man for themselves. Because, I mean, I'm just trying to kill 1. If I can kill 1, we might have a shot at doing this the next pull. Like I said, yes, ideally, I would want to get them off of the squishies back there, but I realize not at the price of nothing dying. It's a morbid way of looking at things, folks, but this is the way you gotta look at things in dungeons like this. You just gotta... Here I am trying to do my impression of a paladin. It ain't gonna work that well, I'll tell you that now. Look at my health. 12 HP, now none. Oh crap. Yep. First time dying on camera. I've died once before, but that's because I didn't read the quest, the journal. But I still killed the thing, which I think made the game mad. But the point here is, if you die, you can go to a shortcut, which I don't know why you would never take the shortcut, but so take it. But this is where things start getting a little rocky. Well, actually, no. This was just one of those, whoopsie, we pulled too much. And, you know, that's fine. But the reason why I said we really might want to go to the left is because if you don't go to the left, if you're unlucky like we were here, well, I guess I'll just take this time to talk. I could skip it, but you notice there is a thing right underneath that bridge. I wasn't sure if we could even go over the bridge. And I'm about ready to pull that F to the right. I don't know why. I was like, oh god. But yeah, it's a learning experience as a tank. You've got to know what to pull. And if you don't know what to pull, you're gonna just have to, you know, pop your defensive cooldowns and AoE spam threat, because I mean, you got to keep that stuff on you. And let's skip ahead, because I remember our tank took forever to get back. I don't know why. Actually, rewatching that while I was cutting, he was already way ahead of us, because he did not give a crap about that F underneath that bridge. He knew it wasn't aggro. I didn't know it wasn't aggro. If you notice the other Swamp Pugil, she don't like me. So I'm like, okay, I got aggro, bring it to the tank. Where is the tank? Oh, the tank's over there on the left. Well, anyway, the Wormhouse dying. We got 2 Pugils, which I don't even know if those were part of the original pull in the first place, but we got them. Behold the monk-off tank. He's got the 2 of them. He's bringing them back to the main tank. Come on, main tank. Use your AoE ability, man. I don't even know what it's called. Use it. Use it. He's got 1 of them. He don't have the other one, but he's got 2 of them. I don't know if that's good enough, but it's better than none. I'm the friendly neighborhood DPS. If I notice the healer or the range DPS has aggro, I'll try and get it on me and bring it back to the tank. Of course, you can bypass this by, if you get aggro, just walk to the tank. So I don't have to play tank. But, you know, some people just don't feel comfortable doing that for whatever reason. Or they don't think of it, or they panic, which is a perfectly legitimate thing to do when you're gonna get 2-shot by getting hit here. So, you know, don't feel too awful bad if you panic and you get it because you have aggro, but you're gonna panic. It's gonna happen. But anyway, the third boss. This is the boss I love. This boss has a mechanic where every once in a while someone will get trapped in a bubble. As a damage dealer, your job, but we're lucky the healer got in time. As a healer, as your DPS, you have one job in this fight. As soon as somebody gets that debuff, which I don't think anybody has it yet. I actually messed up my targeting because I wasn't used to targeting the bubble. You gotta target that bubble, break them out of it, because otherwise, I think they can attack the bubble, but I don't know how much they can do in there because I've only done this the one time. I guess I spoiled that we kill the thing, but the point here is, watch it. Our summoner has it now. I apparently was a little slow on the uptake. I realize it, and now I get to just facepalm in real life because I'm not even watching the screen because I'm embarrassed. My terrible tab targeting skills. How hard is the tab target bar? I finally figured it out. I was like, oh, all I gotta do is hit tab. Good job, dummy. Get back on the boss. Now that the summoner, thank God that wasn't the healer, otherwise we probably would have wiped there due to my incompetence. The healer can get targeted for that, just for the record, so stay on top of that. And it's pretty easy. See, I'm learning. I can target a little better now. I mean, that was the summoner again. Boy, that thing does not like the summoner. Our summoner, seemingly, even though he was the only one with the leaf, seemed to be more experienced of the group. I'm assuming that was probably an alt, considering he still has the new player symbol all the way in Brayflox, meaning he probably knows how to level very quickly. But that's just guesswork. He might really be a new player and just be... That's the big surprise, where all three of us just went, oh god. I was like, oh jeez, don't let me tank this, please. Of all the things, I do not want to tank this. Oh, by the way, that breath really hurts. Like, really hurts and you get poisoned. Our tank got hit by that. Look how much his health went down. And poison is just not good. So as a tank, please stay out of the big red AoEs. I know you get tired of hearing me say that, but you just witnessed the tank take 2 of them in the face. This is why I keep saying this. Because people keep doing it. Oh yes, the good old-fashioned WTF was that. LOL, I didn't know about it either. Okay, so that's the third boss. Now the fourth boss, oh god, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight of fighting that thing. The final boss is not really all that bad. All it requires is that your tank knows what to do, and is willing to actually do it. And that's like the hardest thing in a duty finder group, pickup group. You can't really make people do the smart thing a lot of times. Either because they didn't know about it, they're not reading their chat log, they're just willingly being a dick, I don't know. To be fair, I don't think this guy was willingly being a dick. And I say that because we made plans, he followed the plans, he just got hit by stuff he really shouldn't have gotten hit by. But he was trying, and I really appreciate that. Because some tanks you can tell just don't give a crap. This guy was trying, and I appreciate that. But he messed up quite a bit. But, you know, that's going to happen. I messed up quite a bit. You know, remember the bubble incident? I remember the bubble incident. You know, I'm not perfect either. Why in the heck did I... Oh, but never mind. I thought I'd use Demolish again. I did not. Okay, good. But, yeah, there is a special treasure chest down here. Not here, but there's a special treasure chest in this trash portion of the level that actually holds every class's... I think literally classes, like class rings. Like the Pugilist ring, the Arcanist ring, you know, Gladiator, Marauder, you name it. I think they can be in that chest. It's not 100% always going to be in that chest, but there's a chance of it. But a lot of groups will not go down there. But if you can get that ring, oh man, it is nice. Because it is hard to find good accessories sometimes. Because the vendors in the main cities, I think their jewelry only goes up to like, what, 29, 30? So at this point, you're on your own as far as accessories go. You gotta find them in dungeons, you gotta get them in quests. You know, the point is, it's a really nice thing. So if you're a group full of learners, it is a good idea to go down there to maybe see if somebody can get lucky getting that ring. I guess I multi-dotted when we said we weren't going to multi-dot. Whoops. Oh well. He's hitting the one that I multi-dotted, it should be fine. You gotta make decisions like that. If you notice the tank staying on the one you're gonna multi-dot anyway, go for it. Though to be fair, you really probably shouldn't be switching targets if the tank is hitting the one you're multi-dotting, because that means you're going to make a conscious effort to hit the one the tank's not hitting. But sometimes that is the right thing to do. The place I was talking about, the optional place, is to the left. The to the right is right into the boss's chamber. This is the last trash pack you have to pull. You don't have to go down the other way. But we do. Because, you know, we want all that sweet loot. But it's the final boss. Like I said, it's pretty much all on the tank and healer. Mostly on the tank. The healer is it's a very heal-intensive fight. Like, I respected this healer when we got through it, because I watched people's health while I was doing it, and I was like, oh, thank Christ, I'm not a healer in this, otherwise I'd be having an aneurysm right now. But to be fair, DPS is very important in this fight, because of the mechanics I'll get into in a little bit, but everybody has to be on their A game here, otherwise I think I might have even caused a wipe accidentally. But I was like, are we seriously going to try and sneak past this? I never tried to do this before, but never mind. Why he went that way, maybe he just wanted to see if Monkey Do even worked. Turns out, it does in fact happen that way. Oh boy. Yeah, monks do not have the greatest range, so a lot of times you're going to have to back up from like 2 feet and go, why can't you punch? Why aren't you Gumby? Yeah, that's just something you gotta deal with. That's like a minor... Excuse me, that's a minor gripe. But, you know, things have settled down. We're getting into the rhythm of things. Don't get used to it. We're getting into the rhythm of things. Even though we're multi-tanking. I think Ifrit was tanking that for a little while. I wasn't really paying attention. But, you know, it's always fun when you're playing aggro roulette. Unless you're the tank. And then it sucks because you realize you're doing your job very poorly. To be fair, who has aggro on this? I'm gonna assume the Dark Knight did. I'm gonna assume his competence. Anyway, yeah. If you're a rogue or a ninja, don't try and get that thing. As far as I've heard on Reddit and funny stories, that Quarrel doesn't give a crap about your stealth. Okay, he sees right through it. So while you might think it'd be, you know, Billy Badass to go down there and try and get it yourself, it's not really good to do that. You can get away with it in a lot of places, just not here. Actually, I don't know if you can get away with a lot of places. I don't know how stealth works. I'm still, my rogue's only level 10, so yeah. Anyway, this thing's easy. It's basically like Chopper from Sastasha. It hits probably a lot harder, but it's not, I mean, there's just the one AoE. You want to take a guess as what dropped? Summoner, maybe? No, sir. Aw, sweet. Aw, yeah. Oh crap, what was it? I try to remember what they all said. I think someone said congratulations. It's nice. A lot of people won't go to the, you know, social effort to say congrats. Normally I will. It's just, you can't really congratulate yourself. I hereby congratulate myself on receiving this dungeon drop. Yeah, you don't do that. Okay, now we can finally get into the mechanics. The mechanics on this final boss. What it does. It has the big dragon breath, which we already saw, and the tank got hit by multiple times. It has that. It has its physical auto attacks, but the one you gotta look out for as a tank, eventually, every so often, it will spit out a poison puddle on the floor. Don't let it sit in the floor. And to reiterate that point, the game even says, I forget its name, Iatar, or whatever it is there, is absorbing HP from the poison. Now, you would think people would see that and go, oh crap, I'd better get him out of the poison. You would be surprised. People don't put that together. And I'm only going to show the one wipe, because it's just us wiping. I think we wiped like, what, 4 or 5 times? It was the big wake-up call of, oh god, this is what it's like to be a DPS at the mercy of the tank and healer. And to be fair, I don't think the tank was not getting out of it because he didn't care. I think he was lagging a little bit, because you could see he made the effort of getting out of it. The dude was trying his best, or girl, whoever it is. They're trying their best. But it just wasn't really good enough, to put it bluntly, and I don't like saying that. But yes, I think at around like 50%, usually is when he started throwing the poison on the ground. Maybe a little earlier. But you're gonna see exactly how much that thing heals. And yeah, that. Keep it out of that. You need to move it out of that. If you don't, watch his health. His health going down, going back up. Going down, going back up. And our tank thinks it's out. I don't think it's far enough, though. You gotta make sure that thing is nowhere near that poison puddle. Which doesn't help that I was right there. Yeah, that's as a DPS, you gotta be a little bit careful. And we just made a big, big line where our squishies can't get near us. Oh boy. I was trying to hint to the tank, please move him a little further. Please move a little further. He's sitting right in the poison. I'll give you a spoiler. He didn't get out of the poison, as you can see. I'm trying, oh god, I have aggro. Get him out of the poison. Get him out of the poison. Okay, he's out. Now we can continue this. Unfortunately, what happened was, I moved out of my healer's range to try and get him out of the poison. But to be fair, that responsibility really should not have been on me. To be fair, the scholar said, sorry, you're out of range, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I moved out of range. It was a really polite group, it's just we had a lot of trouble with this fight. 25 minutes later, and all the attempts that go with that, now we're finally on our winning attempt. I'm spoiling it, I know, but this is a good chance to say, this is a wake-up call that not every time I go into a dungeon, it's going to work. Who the hell used a limit break? Oh, that was the... Was that the healer? Did I see healing wind? Well, that's not terrible, but, I mean, you usually want to save that for the melee DPS. If they would have saved that, this fight would have been over so much easier with such, a lot less stress. Because, do you want to know who tanks this fight? I know the smart people, smart Alex out there are gonna say, let me guess, you. To be fair, not really. I tanked a bit of it, but the tank really proved himself here. He learned from his mistakes and he improved on them, and that means a lot as a player, because a lot of people start at the bottom. But it takes a lot to actually learn and fix the problems you made. He's still in the poison. Okay, he's learning. He's got to bring him farther out. Our summoner was getting mad. Well, not mad. Our summoner was getting annoyed. The guy was a nice guy. He was getting a little antsy about our tank continuously leaving the dragon in there, because that's how we died 3 times, or 4 or 5 times straight. But luckily, our tank's finally getting it. It took a little while, but, it's that feeling. It's like, oh, wow. This group may not be the best group. Why is our healer all the way back there? This group may not be the best group, but we learn. That's the way new people are. See, it's like watching your baby grow up. He's learning. Yeah. It should be said, our best attempt at this fight before this was like 20-some%, which for some reason our healer blew the limit break right in the beginning. That's probably why I thought that. And we probably could have killed it had that not happened, but, that's... I don't want to start throwing blame on anybody. I'm just telling you what happened. But yeah, that's like the only mechanics in this fight. Just don't let him sit in the poison. Okay, apparently it's not always melee. We had terrible luck where he always did that with either me or the tank, and well, that's not good, because I don't remember why all the tank's health is like in the negatives. Yeah, and I'm gonna guess the reason for that is because our scholar was so far back. It was so far back. I'm like, oh, okay, I just gotta make sure he's not in the poison. Apparently I'm tanking this now. I'm tanking this thing from 22%. Make a note of that somewhere. The last 22% was tanked by the monk. This should not work. This should not ever come to be. I'm trying to tank with Bloodbath, Featherfoot, and Second Wind. But the tank is back up. The tank is back up. Somebody used the limit break. I don't know who. I think that was... I guess it should have been me, but I was waiting a little bit longer, but I guess I shouldn't have. I learned a lesson there. I'm still tanking. I thought the tank got the aggro back. He did get the... No, he... Yeah, he got the aggro back. That's a good tank. He must have had Provoke. Because I know there's no way in hell he managed to outdo all my aggro, my damage enmity. So, you know, this is the story of... Oh god, he didn't move him out of this, I remember. This is the story of the little group that seemingly couldn't, but we finally managed to do it, and that's the fun thing. When you're in a group that's just like, oh god, we will never clear this. But through hard work and sheer perseverance, and that's all it was, we did it! Like, there was a lot of, oh thank Christ. I even gave it to the healer, even though I probably should have gave it to the summoner. But I just, one of those, you know, that's a rough healing fight. But we did it, and it's a different kind of dungeon run. It's fun. And I think even I think I was the one that said Monk off tank too OP, because I tanked him from like 20 to 5%, which is not something typical in Brayflox. But yep, that's it for Brayflox's Longstop. We made it look probably much more difficult than it really is. And that's gonna be it for today, guys. And next time, I don't know what we're doing. So, hopefully I shall see you guys next time. As always, if you'd like to help support the channel and help it grow, you may wish to like or even subscribe for easier access to future videos. Farewell everyone, until next time.